A strange green, flat, fluffy plant. A depression in the ground. Some kind of pipe running into the stone. Could it? Is that? It is! An ancient human ritual place, one of the good ones.
Very good, Talaril. You found a suitable place for the ritual.
And how do you activate that thing?
Good question.
Wow! Hey! Talk about the right place for a ritual.
That's a proper protective circle.
Now we just need to figure out what those symbols mean.
That's the symbol for air.
The air symbolizes the mind in the material world.
The protective circle is active. No one can enter or leave it while the symbols are illuminated. That's just the way protective circles work. According to the book, that's the symbol for fire.
Fire symbolizes will and inspiration in the material world.
Hello, Father Bartholomew.
Hello, Talaril.
Why does an exorcism have to be a ritual in the first place?
An exorcism is not a simple matter. We must free Greta's secular body of the otherworldly possession and reclaim her soul.
And how do we do that?
It's not that easy. Rituals work through symbols. We must see to it that every power, every factor in the ritual is somehow represented by symbols or symbolic objects. Then the symbol's powers join forces, and the ritual's effect unfolds.
And the powers do what they're supposed to do?
In theory.
I found a suitable location for the exorcism.
Oh, very good. Where?
There's an ancient stone circle up near the old mill.
Is it suitable for such an important ritual? Can you draw a circle of protection there, for example?
Yeah, you can. There's even a protective circle there. I already activated it. It still works.
Very good. Very good.
I found out something about these triangle symbols. They stand for the 4 elements: earth, water, fire, and air.
Excellent, my son. I guess that makes sense. The 4 elements represent the holistic secular creation, so that you can address Greta in her entirety. Her body, her soul, her spirit, and her mind. Do you already know how to use the 4 elements?
Well, I think I have to combine them with the stones. There's a kind of bowl in front of each one. That's how it seems you activate them.
Good, good, my boy. Then gather all 4 elements together and try them out first.
Do you still have a few candles for the fire in the ritual?
Unfortunately, no. Greta's thousands of vigils and offertories have exhausted our entire stock. You'll have to come up with something else.
Now that we have an appropriate place for the ritual, how do we get Greta out there? She's not likely to march out there on her own, is she?
Yes, that might prove difficult. Greta locked herself in her chambers right after she had you and Bloomford arrested. The sounds coming from her chambers indicate she's not quite herself at the moment. What did come out was a mirror, which she threw out of the window. It looks like we're going to need physical help. Sounds to me like a job for McCallum.
That might just prove a tad difficult.
Why?
Well, I sort of broke out of jail together with Bloomford, and kinda gave him a bit of an electric shock in the process. And well, then somehow locked him up.
Oh dear, yes, I remember. Well, then you'll have to find someone else to help you.
But who?
You have to ask someone whom you trust and who meets the physical requirements needed to get Greta to the ritual site in her current state.
Now that we have an appropriate place for the ritual, how do we get Greta out there? She's not likely to march out there on her own, is she?
Yes, that might prove difficult. Greta locked herself in her chambers right after she had you and Bloomford arrested. The sounds coming from her chambers indicate she's not quite herself at the moment. What did come out was a mirror, which she threw out of the window. It looks like we're going to need physical help. Sounds to me like a job for McCallum.
That might just prove a tad difficult.
Why?
And well,
I remember.
but
You have to...
I have a ritual sequence. Look,
Very good, but that isn't completed yet. You require the complete sequence for the ritual. We can't start until we have that. The correct planning of a ritual is everything, especially one as dangerous as an exorcism.
I'll be going then. Seems to be another of Greta the Inquisitor's fanatical notes. Here it says, as the Holy Mass has been subject to repeated interruption through noise in the past, I hereby decree any children playing here to be apprehended immediately and handed over to their parents. Order and decorum must be maintained inside the church. Signed, Greta. Let's see what I can do with it. The leftover scraps of Greta's decrees. So the new decree now states, in the name of the Incarnate, I decree that playing children are to be captured immediately and thrown into the Holy Inquisition cells, that they may receive their just punishment. Every mortal sin must have its reward. Signed, Greta.
How extraordinary. This makes Greta appear even more fanatical than she already is.
Oh, they can be reorganized.
Why don't you put them together to make something really strange?
So the new ticket now states, for the purposes of the municipal code, dustbins are a massive threat to the general public. Delinquents will be sentenced to grimaces and contortions in jail. Signed, McCallum.
How extraordinary. This makes McCallum appear really quite mad.
Locked. Hello, Bill.
Well, howdy, Talarel. What can I do for you?
It's about Greta.
Oh, no. What's up with her this time?
She's possessed by a demon.
Now you're getting carried away, boy.
No, really. Actually by an angel, a fallen one. But it comes down to the same thing. Can you help me?
A demon? I mean, Greta's a few pages short of a complete Bible, but, a demon?
Yes, and I need help with the exorcism. We need to grab Greta and take her to the ancient stone circle.
Exorcism? That sounds dangerous. And you just can't go jailing Inquisition people? Don't that get you thrown in hell?
They wish.
And what if you're wrong? You got any evidence?
Of course I can prove it. Look at the insane things she's coming up with. Look here.
In the name of the Incarnate, I decree that playing children are to be captured immediately and thrown into the Holy Inquisition's cells that they may receive their just punishment. Every mortal sin must have its reward. Signed, Greta. Greta really has lost her mind. But why don't you go to McCallum? It's his job to maintain law and order around here.
He's indisposed.
What? What do you mean, indisposed?
He's gone mad from grief because Greta's been possessed by a demon.
Another accusation. You got proof of this one too, boy?
Of course I can prove it.
For the purposes of the municipal code, dustbins are a massive threat to the general public. Delinquents will be sentenced to grimaces and contortions in jail. Signed, McCallum. Dustbins, so it hit him too. Completely nuts.
That's why I locked him up.
All right, I'll help you. But Greta has locked herself in her chambers. We gotta lure her out somehow. If you can do that, I'll grab her and take her to the stone circle.
I'll be going then. Hello, Magnus.
Greetings, Talarel.
I would like to return this book.
Looks decent enough. I hope for your sake that I don't find any stains.
I'll be off then. The title is The Fifth Element, Existence Beyond the Four Elements. No author. Strange. And the symbol on the book's spine is the same as on one of the stones in the stone circle. A hexagram. May I borrow this book?
All right, but bring it back.
Here it says, as steeped in legend as the existence of the fifth element may be, there can be no doubt that there can be no expression of intention without the reflection of this meta level.
Goodness me, that's some heavy stuff.
And the symbol on the book's spine is the same as on one of the stones in the stone circle, a hexagram. It says here, The fifth element is more than just the quintessence or the ether of the meta-element that lies between and behind everything. And ultimately, every author avoids its clear definition, of which every practitioner takes a different view.
Oh dear. And it just keeps on like that.
In an operation of intention, the fifth element thus represents the quintessence and thus both the ability to be able to perform this operation adequately as well as the proper authorization.
And what does that mean?
Well, you could see a ritual as an operation of intention.
Really?
She's right. A ritual is about achieving something. You have a plan that you want to implement.
Uh-huh.
And that's why the symbol in a ritual stands for both the authorization, the permission to do something, and the ability, the power to actually conduct it.
And that means?
It means that you need something that gives you the right to act in God's name on earth. And that you need something that you can use to separate the demon from Greta. Some kind of tool.
Happy hunting.
Hello, Father Bartholomew.
Hello, Talarail.
I found out something about the hexagram. In a ritual, it is supposed to represent the authorization and the ability to perform that ritual.
Very interesting. But it makes sense. You must have the right to perform a ritual in God's name, and you need a tool to use when performing the exorcism.
What could be considered justification so that I can act in God's name on earth?
We're battling powers that far exceed any that exist here on Earth. We need God's help, so to say, His permission, to perform a heavenly deed upon Earth in His name. The only one on Earth who has that is the Pope, symbolized by the papal or Peter's keys.
Why does Peter's key symbolize permission to act in God's name?
Well, way back when, Jesus commissioned the Apostle Peter. You are the rock upon which I build my church, and the powers of Hades will not overcome it. Peter was the first pope, if you will.
Peter?
Yes, that's why he carries a key, in order to unlock Heaven's Gate, which basically says he's entitled to look after salvation.
Oh boy.
What would I need to empower me to perform the exorcism ritual?
That's a good question. You'll need a really powerful artifact that will let you separate the possessed, in this case Greta, from the possessor, whatever that something is.
I'll be going then. Hello, St. Peter. I know you didn't want to let Jesus down. That was really mean of me. It's really hard to always do the right thing here on Earth. Yeah, it's your right to be angry about that.
Talarail, it's working. He's already calmed down a bit.
I know about the inverted cross. It is written that you did that because you considered yourself unworthy to die in the same manner as Jesus. Pretty classy, to be honest. Yikes, that didn't get him all worked up earlier.
But it seems to be appeasing him.
I know that the whole thing with Jesus was just a slip. I know you were always on his side up until then, full of enthusiasm and always there for him. It must have been terrible for you when you found out that he was right and that you had denied him 3 times before the rooster crowed.
I never would have believed you had so much compassion.
Earth seems to be changing him.
St. Peter, I am sincerely sorry for all the things I said to you, not just here on earth, but in heaven too. It couldn't have been easy as a human with all of this matter and these feelings on this strange planet. Who can always know exactly what is right and wrong?
Talabal, you did it! Peter, Saint Peter himself forgave you.
And he released the key. You now have the ultimate symbol of authority to prove that you're allowed to act in God's name on Earth.
Thank heaven.
More like thank St. Peter.
Whatever.